Hey sewing friends, welcome back to my channel. So I was sewing recently, and as I sometimes do, I made a mistake, and that brought to mind talking about um, the trick that I've discovered or learned in my experience for unpicking or ripping out a serged seam. If you have a serger, I'm sure you love it until you have to take out a seam that you've sewn in error. And so, and maybe you've seen this, but if not, then let me show you. But before I do, let me point out that the one important detail that I've noted in the success of this tip is that you have a seam ripper, and there's a couple of different kinds, but the most standard is one that looks like this. But you will notice by looking at this, if I can get really close, is that they have different sized points. And so it's important to get one that is sharp and thin. This thicker one is important for some tasks, but not in this one. It'll go much smoother, and you'll pick the correct seam in your 4-stitch serged seam if you have the thinner ones. So let's start with that one, okay? Okay, we're back. So when you're looking at your serged seam, you're going to see a couple of different seams. Now this is a 4-stitch, so that means we have 1 needle, 2 needle, and then we have the loopers on the back. Now, when I started out, I would run along the top, and then it would all turn into a bunch of little confetti. But what I've since learned is that, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit more. Okay, is that if we pick this seam right here, and we pick the seam that's right above it, the thread above it, so we're only doing the horizontal stitches. It's a little hard to do on camera, but bear with me. Okay, so we're going to do that all the way along, and at some point it starts to come right out. I like that. Let's see here. Like this. Okay, and then we're going to fast forward to when you do a bunch, and then you're going to have it, it's going to be like this, and then you're going to be able to go like this and take it all off, and then your seam will be taken apart like that, and you can go back to your sewing machine and stitch the seam the way it's supposed to. And you only have one long thread as opposed to a bunch of confetti. Happy sewing!